Okay, on to solving systems. We're actually moving on to systems with now that have three variables to them. So again, when we had two unknowns, x and y, we need two equations to solve. When we've got three variables, x, y, and z, we need three equations to solve. The only way to do this is with a calculator. So try to get a TI-83 or 84. And what we'll do is we'll create what's called an augmented matrix. Okay. In each row, what I'm going to do is go to each equation. So let's say this is equation number 1. And I'm going to grab the coefficients. So the number in front of x, the number in front of y, the number in front of z, and then the solution, or what it's equal to. Okay, I'll do the same thing. So 2, 1, 1, and 6, 1, 3, -2, and 13. So there's three equations, so there's three rows. Here are all my x coefficients, my y coefficients, my z coefficients, and then my solutions. Okay, so there's my augmented matrix, and I'm going to use the calculator to solve from here. Now, I can't really show you what I'm typing into my calculator, but what I'm doing is I'm going to hit the second and then the x to the negative first power. I arrow over to edit, and I am putting this in for a, and I can change the dimensions to a 3x4, and then I'm just going through and I'm entering each one of the numbers. We can practice this in class too. So we're all kind of there. The only thing is we all have to do this in class because I don't want you to go out and buy one of these calculators. Okay, so just kind of try this out on a system that you've already done. I'm going to make my augmented matrix. So that's the one with my coefficients, 2, 1, and 5. And 1 comes from that y. -1, 4, and 11. Okay. Sometimes I put a little dashed line right through there, just kind of take the spot of the equal sign. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put that in for matrix A. And now when I go to that second x to the negative first, I'm going to go to the math. And then my calculator is option B. It's RREF. And I'll pull that up. And then I'll go back and I'll go to second x to the first. And then under names, I'll bring up matrix A. And it should look in your calculator as RREF with an A in it. Hit enter, and it should spit out a matrix like this. In the first 9 entries, look like that. And my last column was be a 2, -4, and 1. Okay, I take that back. I just wrote down the answers to the last one. My bad. You're going to get something different than that. Take that back. You're going to get 1, 0, 0, and 1. Okay, so I'm going to quickly type that into my calculator. So I'm second, x to the negative first. Go over to edit. Make it a 2x3 for the dimensions. Put in 2, 1, 5. -1, 4, 11. Okay. Bring up RREF. Bring up matrix A. Hit enter. I get 1, 0, and then a 1, 0, 1, and a 3. So what that means is x is equal to 1, and y is equal to 3. Now, in this row, there's no y, so it's just x. And in this row, there's no x, so it's just y. You could have solved this by any other method, but you would still get them as x equals 1 and y is equal to 3. So, here's what I would do with a matrix of 3 equations. I'll have 3 rows and 4 columns. It's always one more columns and rows, because I need another column for my solutions. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and type that into my calculator, and for the sake of time here, this is what it spits out. I get 1 0 0 1 0 1 0 negative 2 0 0 1 0. So it means x, no y's, no z's equals 1. So x equals 1. No x's, 1 y, no z's equals negative 2. So y is negative 2. And no x, no y, 1 z is equal to 0. So my answer for x is 1, my answer for y is negative 2, and my answer for z is 0. Okay, now you notice in my equations, they're kind of written nicely because you had x first, y second, and then you had your z next, and then you had your equals, and then you got your answer. If for any reason you've got x and y not in order or alphabetical order, you need to rearrange them because this needs to be all my coefficients for x, all my coefficients for y, all my coefficients for z, and then your answers. Okay, so another situation you might run into is like this one. The first equation, I've got 1, 2, but there's no z, and I need to put a number to hold its place. So I'll put a 0, and then 7. So then the rest of them, negative 3, 5, 1, 11, 5, negative 2, negative 1, and 0. There's my augmented matrix, put in my 3 by 4. Run RREF on your calculator, and you get 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 3, 0, 0, 1, negative 1. Okay, so then your solutions are x equals 1, y equals 3, z is equal to negative 1. If it seems like I'm getting my answers really quickly, it's because I'm just looking off of a key that I've worked out already. I'm doing this strictly on the TI-83. I got some TI-84s that will do the same thing in class, so don't worry about the speed. And what we'll end up doing is using this for applications. So in this particular equation, I've got 3 different types of stocks that I want to find out how much is invested in each of those. Since there's 3 different variables of x, y, and z, I'm going to need to come up with 3 equations. So that's something to look forward to in the next set of notes.